My mic is muted as usual. Mic muted. My mic sound nice. All right, good. Okay. Don't know if it sounds nice or not. Can't hear myself. But this is more of an impromptu show I decided to do, even though I said I was going to pull. I am still pushing back on doing as many shows as I was before, but I decided to jump out this morning and do a show. Probably stay on for 45 minutes or something like that because I got to get some sleep. I go to work in a few hours. But so I was on somebody else's podcast and didn't say anything outrageous or anything like that. You know, speaking with a lot of sense and intelligence. Gave the gave the man a little pushback. And as usual, soon as you give these soon as you give these dudes pushback, they're like, oh no, no, no. Cut them off. Cut me off. 1 minute and 17 seconds into my comment, I get cut off. So you can't even tolerate nowadays when you go on these podcasts with these dudes who call themselves men, they won't even tolerate you for a minute unless you kissing their ass. You got the wrong individual for that. You have the wrong individual for that. You are out here on these forums, giving your opinion and so forth, and you should be able to take as good as you get, right? But as we all know, that is not always true. That is absolutely not true with these cats here. Now, it's supposed to be on show is supposed to be on, but it's showing that I'm not even live yet for some reason. I don't know why. No, I'm live. There we go. Yeah, so I don't get it. I don't get it, people. Why have a podcast
Yeah, so
if you can't take pushback?
I don't get it. I don't get it, people. Why have a
Okay.
podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. Why have a podcast if you can't take any pushback? You can't take a difference of opinion. Why even start a podcast? Waste all that time and energy. For all of that, you could just talk to yourself, or you could just talk amongst friends. You could make it a private podcast and say, "Oh, this is an opinion based show, and the only opinion that matters here is mine." And you can't come in. They can't come in if you have a difference of opinion. What's up, Phil Carl Roberts? I hope all is all. I hope you are doing. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for asking, man. Hope all is well with you. Also, today we're talking about manhood. I don't know if you could see the art I made. It said, "Manhood is not automatic." You know. Then has a picture of me with the gloves on my shoulders, and the topic is podcasting where manhood comes to die. Because in most cases, as we know, manhood comes to die on these podcasts. Got a bunch of these cats out here. All they do is yes, 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 the host. Even when he's blatantly wrong. It don't have to be about boxing, it could be about anything. They just yes, 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 this guy. I'm not built like that. I never have been. I'm gonna give pushback. Pushback, 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 because that is who I am. And I don't give pushback just for the sake of giving pushback. But come on, man, I'll give you, it makes for more interesting conversation if you have varied opinions. If everybody's just agreeing, oh yeah, Phil, I agree with you. Oh, I agree with you too, Troy. Okay, great. Where is it? Where's the fun in that? Why are people even listening to you at that point? Why? I started this page here, the Troy Graham Experience, because I get tired of being on everybody else's show and just being cut off. Period. I wanted my own voice. I wanted to speak when I want to speak. I wanted my own thing. It's like, It's like you're carpooling and you want to drive, but you can't because it's not your car. You got to wait till it's your turn to drive, and then you could adjust the radio how you want it. You could do what you want. Over here, I'm in control. Now, I don't mind pushback. Obviously, if you've seen the shows I have with Smoke on here and Myron and whoever else comes on here, I don't mind pushback at all. I really don't. I think it's good. And you gotta excuse me, I'm chewing on an apple. Pushback, I think, is good because iron sharpens iron. If it's productive pushback, not the whole yelling back and forth about nothing, but if it's productive, intelligent pushback, then you could say that you gained something from it. If it's this stupid adolescent, you know, dumb pushback which goes nowhere, then you're not gaining anything. You just put negative energy into the world. I'm not about that. I'm grown. Let's have some dialogue. We can be passionate. We can get some pushback. But by the end of the day, we all come to an agreement that we agree to disagree. Everybody's respectful. Everybody goes home safely. You know, that's what this is about to me. That's how you grow. I'm gonna grow because number one, I'm gonna be consistent. At least I was on this drive, being consistent, 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 till my engine broke down, and my engine is still broke down. By the way, I got to get a new engine, so that's being worked on. On YouTube, you have more viewers than you think. A lot of viewers don't comment. Thank you, brother Phil. I appreciate that, man. I wish they would and hit that like button. It would mean a whole lot to me. Mean a whole lot to me. So because a lot of times I go on other people's shows and I make one or two comments and then I'm quiet. I don't say nothing else. I might interject here and there, but I'm pretty much quiet. I'm quiet because I have a personality where I just want to be in charge right now. Because I've come to the point in life where I respect my own power. So why should I curtail myself or hold myself back, or make myself small for somebody else? Why should I do that at this stage in life? Because that only hurts you. That doesn't help you. I think a very good apple, by the way. So, like I said, excuse me for chewing on air. So, okay, like right now, I'm very irritated, and I would like to tell you who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to give him any free advertisement. If you saw me on the show, then you saw me on the show. You want to bring his name up? I'm cool with it, but I refuse to give him free advertisement on my show. I know how you help some guys. Well, much respect to you, man. Much respect to you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know, yeah, I definitely appreciate that. That's a situation that's always going to be a thorn in my side. That's my little petty situation. But I don't know why I shouldn't be petty about it because what I said I was going to do when I left, I'm doing. You know, I was a big fish in a little pond over there. Now I'm the big fish. Well, actually, no, I'm the whale. I'm Orca. I'm Orca, the killer whale, who's very intelligent, by the way. Very intelligent. You know, but you know, I want to have open discussions, man. I mean, about just so many different things, like this conversation here, manhood, especially now. I know a lot of you saw that slap with Will and Chris Rock. See, everybody is talking about Will and his feelings. What about Chris Rock and the damage that did to him mentally, plus their friendship? They can never be friends again. They can't sit down and break bread again because look, you slapped me in front of a national audience and an international audience, and then you walked away like it was just, this is just what I do. This is what I do. Walked away like it was nothing. And I understand that you want to fight for your wife's honor, but what honor does your wife have after what she did? What honor does she have? She didn't just disrespect you, she disrespected your child or her child as well, and she disrespected your entire family by how she went about doing it. So what honor does Jada have to protect? And the whole world knows about it. Then she sat down at the table and told you about it with a big smile on her alopecia face. She's like, "Yeah, Will, he was good too. He's better than you. You've been lacking lately, Will. You've been lacking. You Bama." You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know what honor he had to protect that night based on the GI Jane joke. To be very honest with you, because the situation was, if that was me, I would have wanted to hit him back, but I would have chilled. And then once we went to the commercial, I would have stepped to him and said, "I need to speak to you in the back, away from the cameras and everybody else." And his reaction would have determined my actions. He said no, then I'm going to react in one way. If he says yes, then I'm going to react in another way. You know what I'm saying? Once we turn the corner and we get into around the back where nobody is, I'm smacking the hell out that man. And we could deal with it how we deal with it. You know? Yeah, Chris Rock has been around a long time, longer than Will Smith. Yeah, he has been. Will Smith came along after Chris Rock. I believe so, at least. But he was, "I'm gonna get you, sucker," and he was in the movies first before Will, because Will was on TV first, and he was doing his rapping, and he was a very clean, funny rapper, which I still appreciate. West was never clean, ever. He wanted to be Eddie Murphy Jr. You know, I'm gonna buy one rib. Mm-hmm. How much is one rib? One rack? No, just one rib. That and it be calling me, man. It just be calling me, man. Those are the lines that you remember Chris Rock for. Even though he's moved on and done so much more, those are the lines that brothers remember for. Yeah, you keep hearing me going on mute because, like I said, this apple's good. Yeah, I'm gonna have my nephews on here pretty soon as well. I got some very talented nephews. So one of them is like a master on the stock market, and he's on his way to the NFL. I got another one who does music. He's coming by, and then another one who's a rapper. And who else did I say? Oh, and I got another one who does video editing, and he's into media. So I'm gonna have them all on the show at once, and they can talk about their talents because I like bigging up my family. A lot of times people will have everybody else on as a guest because they feel like that person is more important. Me, I want to give my family a shout out. Shout out my family and give them a big old shout out. Then I do my nieces. I do my nieces and all that. And I'll probably have my daughter on that show. And so it'll be a daughter/niece show. So everybody can tell what they're doing and just advertise themselves. That's how you pay it forward, and that's how you grow your family. I got a lot of Many of the females in my family are in the medical field. They're doctors and nurses and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're very intelligent, much like the men who are actually super intelligent with their hands. They could build you a house from scratch, chop down trees, and they could cook you a mean steak. You know, so my family's very well rounded, thank God. We have our ups and downs. Where I got my drunk already uncle. Not gonna leave him out. So yeah, but back to manhood, which is the subject matter of the thing. I just wanted to get off that for a second because at the end of the day, if you start a podcast, you should at least have the decency or the strength to say, "I expect pushback, and I appreciate it when it comes with respect and purposeful passion. Don't be a punk and cut people off 1 minute into a conversation. You know who you are. I'm not saying your voice. You're not getting any free time from me. You know, that's just not right. It's just not right. You know, I've had my back and forth with so many of these cats that I refuse to give them. I don't even advertise on their shows because their people are so unintelligent and negative that I don't want them anywhere near my own show. He is bigger than Smith in my eyes. Well, no, he actually isn't. Phil Carl Roberts. Will is like one of the biggest stars in the world. Chris Rock is one of the most established comedians in the world. He's viewed as a very higher echelon comedian. He lives around a bunch of rich people in New Jersey, where Eddie Murphy used to live and all that, right? I think it's called Inglewood. Used to date someone up there. This is Jersey, not California. It's a half an hour outside of Manhattan. So it's right outside of New York, half an hour outside of New York. Yeah, man. It's on. You could only take one bus there. You have to take what's called the Jersey, I think the New York Jersey link. You catch that downtown or before the wow, that was before 9/11. I don't really know how it works right now. But that train I'm talking about was inside uh, Grand Central Station, Grand Central Station in Manhattan. So I don't know how the attack that day affected that train. But anyway, that's how you would get there. You catch the train, and once you get off in Jersey, you have to get off in Jersey City, I believe. Then you catch a bus, and that's the only bus you can catch. It takes you to where Chris live and Eddie and all that, because there's no other vehicle, no other public transportation over there. Yeah, my cousin used to work over there as a living nurse, and then I used to date this young lady who lived over there as well. So yeah, but uh, manhood, manhood, manhood. It ain't too much more for me to say about manhood. That subject is what it is. Let's just have a conversation, baby. We'll see where it goes. Because right now it's headed on 2 o'clock. I came on at 1:30, so I'm gonna shut her down at 2:30 and get in at least 6 hours of sleep, and then start the day over again. And I can say that I will be back. Let me not lie. I'll probably be back tomorrow. It depends. Uh, Another impromptu type of talk, right? Another impromptu type of conversation. But for right now, I'm staying on here for another 39 minutes and go from there. So, Phil Carl Roberts, you are in the UK, correct? So right now it's going on 7 o'clock over there. Am I right? 7 a.m. That is. Hopefully he's still around here somewhere. But I see the number keep going up over here. So I'm just gonna keep going. Okay, so I finished the apple. I'm drinking some peach water now. So if that's what you hear me doing. Yeah. All these things I do is to stop me from eating late at night because I'm not really supposed to be eating anything late at night. Like right now, my legs are swole up from fluid retention. I mean, really swole up. They shouldn't even. I could feel it. I could feel it, man. It's terrible. So yeah, that's the one thing when your legs are just swole up, you feel sluggish and everything else, and you just, you know, makes you nervous because both of them are solid. They swole up. Mm, yeah, but so it is what it is. Like Phil Carl Roberts, can you remember a time when you went on a podcast and you got shut down because you gave a little pushback to the host? Now you can name names if you want. I don't care. I was just curious. From your end, you could do it fine. What was that show that you were on? You disagree with the host and gave him a little pushback, and he was like, "Oh no, you have to go. You have to go." What show was that, Phil? Yeah, hide comment. I don't know which comment. Oh, you want me to hide this comment? There we go. Okay, good. Comment is hidden. Another thing I'm finding out about doing these shows is that, even if I'm in here, I don't have someone to co-host anything to talk to. Never, even if you're yawning, never, ever, ever let your air go blank. I mean, dead air is it's called. No, not blank. Dead air. I was not blocked though. Nah, I wasn't blocked either. I wasn't blocked though, Fred. I mean, Phil. I'm just saying, you ever got some pushback? You gave some pushback to the host, and he basically cut you off and kicked you off the show or whatever. I remember my comments not being mentioned. On whose show? Phil called Roberts. And feel free to jump on the pat. I mean, if I put no, because you said you don't like coming on, so I don't think I've ever seen you jump on anybody's panel. So I'm not gonna ask because I would drop the link, but I don't think you come on, right? So because leave it up to me, and I'd love to do a two-way show with other people or three-way show with other people, and we could go from there. Oh, okay. Well, I tell you what, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. That's what it is. You come, win some, you lose some, baby. I prefer to have my own and then win all of them. Which this is just a start. This is just a start. These legs of mine are swole as hell. I have to start wearing those socks, those compression socks and stuff, so my legs won't completely swell up on me and things like that. Because right now, I don't even want to get up off the couch. But I have to go lock my door. You know, that's what manhood is. Do you recall where we met? Yeah, I know where we met. Oh, exactly what show. Yeah. Let me say this. Let me say this. I'll say this. I have no problem with speaking certain. Well, I have no problem speaking names. Period. But certain people don't deserve any free advertising. But let me go ahead and get it out. So when I first came on social media, I didn't know anything about this whole boxing community. I said, okay, there was a boxing show. It's called The Boxing Voice. Okay, cool. So these dudes were talking, talking, talking. And then the more they talked, I realized number one, these cats don't know shit about boxing. I was dropping names like Eddie Fudge, Mike McCollum, and different names to them, and they did not know not one of those names. Not a one. And I lied to you not. They knew about the politics of boxing. They knew about podcasting and all that, you know. But names in I mean, boxing history in general, and just the overall knowledge of how to break down a fight and everything else, didn't know none of that. They didn't know none of that, Playboy. That's where I came in. But then, you know, I realized this show is not for someone with my intelligence. I don't belong over here. So, God willing, I found Myron's show, and he sounded like he knew what was going on, what was this, what was up, what was down. And me and him became cool, and I went over to his show a lot. And then from Myron's show, I would go to D. Jefferson's show, that little stinking ass narcissist, right? And I went over there. I don't know why I did that to myself, or I punished myself every day going over there, because you know, dude was just a complete narcissist. He enjoyed getting you upset and pissing you off. That was his whole thing, because he was such a little man, you know. So anyway, it came to a head one day, and I told him I was gonna break his fucking. And I realized right from then I had to leave. I couldn't be on the show because somehow he found a way to beat me and irritate my soul. And very few people could ever do that. So I left. I never went back. And then what else happened? I was going to Myron's show a lot, and D Boone, and I can't remember this other two hands show. I found his show, and then eventually I found the Lady Chan shows and all the rest of them. But that's how I got started. It was with boxing voice, and Nestor couldn't take push back then either. He really couldn't. He really could not, you know. But I give Nestor his props because he's. I can see when he's grown, and I can see. I'm not talking about his business. I'm talking about him as a man. Right? I can see where he's grown and all that, but there's still that thing in him where he don't like nobody giving him pushback. Me, I push back on everybody. That's how I am. And Myron and me, we would go back and forth too, but you know, there was a level of respect there. We only lived 45 minutes from each other. I tell people that all the time, man. We haven't met yet though, but we only lived 45 minutes. And then, you know, rolling right along, happened to meet this cat here, Major Key on Punch Drunk Show. And the rest, as they say, is history, you know. History. I'm still with the cat. Going on 2 years now, and everything's going, doing good. You know, the next show we're doing is coming up in 3 days. It's coming up April 4th. Asim Rahman Jr. versus Tommy Morse's son, whose name I have to learn. But I did the artwork already for it, and I posted it, and it's all ready to go. You know, so all is well, all is well. We're gonna get them both on at the same time. I'm hoping and praying we could get both of them on the show at the same time, right? Because that'll be some great PR. We've been blessed over there, man. I mean, to get Julian Jackson and Mike McCollum and Tommy Brooks on the same show, and then we made history where we had Tommy Brooks on, Asim Rahman on, Chop Corley on. Uh, who else? I want to say Joppy popped in. William Joppy, and Junior Jones. That's five with Hasim Rahman. That's one champion. Chop Chop's another champion. Who else I say? Yeah, Chop Hasim Rahman, Chop Chop, uh, Joppy, and Junior Jones. That's four champions and one Hall of Fame coach. There's no other podcast that can say that they did that, at least not in one night. No, you get different in one show. I mean, no other podcast out there could say that. No other podcast could say they got Julia Jackson and Mike McCollum on at the same time. We were the first ones to have Michael Nunn back on when he came out of the pen. That was us. We brought him back, right? You know, we did that. So there's a lot of great things going on over there. You don't want to miss it. Don't want to miss it, man. Now, talking about manhood and how it works with you and against you at the same time. Me and old Major knock heads from time to time. Like he didn't know who Troy Dorsey was. I did. And he's like, I don't know, man. You talking about bringing this cat on? I don't know. You seen his record? It's upside down. I said, I know what his record is. Just you gonna have to trust me. I broke down history. He's the first martial artist, multiple time world championship martial artist to come to boxing, and he won multiple championships. No one's ever done that. He's the first. The first. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna do it on the strength of you, but I think it's gonna fail. And look how the show turned out beautiful. Look how it turned out beautiful. I said, boy, don't you ever doubt me again. He said, I ain't gonna doubt you no more. I ain't gonna doubt you no more, T Grizzly. I ain't gonna doubt you no more, man. You know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know I do. I know I do. Yeah. I was great, man. He came on and it was just great. Troy is Troy. 1,500 punches in one fight, one daggone fight. Kevin Kelly was on the show the other night. He said you needed a gun to stop Troy Dorsey. You couldn't stop him. You needed a gun. So Troy Dorsey was like that, man. He was like that. I tell you, I tell you, I tell you, I tell you. He wasn't the greatest fighter in the world, but he damn sure was determined, you know? And I have so much respect for the man. Matter of fact, I respect everybody that gave us their time, from big to large to the known and unknown. We respect them. We don't care if you got one fight under your belt or if you got 100 and you're a Hall of Famer. You want to come on? You got a good story. You got something positive to say. You coming on? You know that's the way Ti is. That's what makes us great. And nobody else out here in YouTube can say they can match us. Sure, they get names, but you ever listen to the interviews? They're kind of scripted. You're like, man, yeah, I got this question, and they go down the line, boom, 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 and they start praising them and kissing their behind. I don't write anything down when it comes to the guests because number one, I know them, but then I go back and study. I read, uh, I read a whole lot of their bios, so all that does is just refresh my memory. I don't have to write everything down. David Benavides, I don't have to write nothing down, nada, because I know what I want to ask him. You know, I know. So yeah, so that's what it is, man. When you do this business, the interviews, the interviews are scripted, not ours. Ours interviews aren't scripted, no. But a lot of other people you see, what I mean by scripted is that their questions they write them down before the guest comes on, and they have them in line. Like I'm gonna ask you this one first, that one second, blah yada 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 yada. Whereas my belief is this: I know them. I know it in my heart. Is I could do a lot of research, study them, but then you have to sit in silence. And this is what you can't copy. I am an empath. I don't just know things, I feel things. So by the time they come on the show, we've already spoken, and I got a feel for you. You can't copy that. That's why I can give that information out. You can't copy that. I'm an empath. That's where every show I've gone on, people was like, yeah, I want him to come back because, he definitely brings a lot of energy. I don't go on everybody's show because I don't want to help everybody. You know, I'm not here to dance monkey dance for everybody. But yeah, Phil, you've seen most of our shows, even if you see them on playback. Which one, which one you say, or which three would you say that you've enjoyed the most so far? Oh, definitely appreciate that, Phil Carl Roberts. I'm glad I'm out the hospital too, buddy. Yeah, I'm glad I'm out there too. But like I tell everybody, it's a long journey, baby. It's a long journey, and that's why you see me cutting back on the interviews because I got to save my strength. Just the other day, I wanted to do a Friday show, but when I woke up Friday afternoon, I had no strength left. I was just suffering. And anyhow I would have done that show, I would have suffered. The show would have suffered and it wouldn't have been as organic as all the other shows have been. So I said, no, sir, I'm not doing it. But out of all the shows I've done with me and Major Key have done over there, think of the three your three favorites and give me those. Ah, you tuned into the first one with the first David Benavidez interview last year? That's what you're talking about? Well, not your favorites, but okay, how about maybe let's take favorites out of there. Which off the top of your head, which three come to mind you could say that really touched you, and you could watch them over and over again? How about that? I don't make it difficult. I don't make it difficult for you to say no now. Ain't favorites, but which just off the top of your head, which three touched you the most that you say, okay, I could watch these over and over again. The first StreamYard, huh? Really? Who was the first one we did together? Oh, the first one where we had a guest, or the first one where me and him would just did a show together? No, your first. Oh, you mean my first over here at Detroit Graham Experience? I got you. I got you. I got you. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. We didn't do we didn't do Gotti versus Ward, man. At least I didn't get to interview either one of them yet. I'm working on Mickey Ward, but I didn't get him yet. And I cried, man, when Gotti passed away because much like Johnny Tapia, he gave himself away to the sport. And I so wanted to meet that man before he passed. Yeah, I really want to meet him before he passed on. Man, but it wasn't meant to be. That's why I'm pushing for Gotti. You know? Yeah, I'm gonna stay on until 2:30. That's good enough. That's an hour. And then I'm gonna do what I do. I was thinking about favorite fights. Okay. Okay, so Gotti versus Ward was your favorite fight. Okay. Let me ask you a question, man, because you're over there in the UK. How beloved or how respected is Mike McCollum in the UK? 'Cause I know the man gets a lot of respect over there, but how respected is he over there? Well, he did come over there and beat the beloved Harold Graham. So how respected is he over there? If you love fights, go check out James Tooney versus Jurov, Jirov at cruiserweight. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. That's Scotty Ward at 190 pounds right there. James Tony's incredible. Even as he was aging, he was incredible, right? Even as he was aging, the man's incredible. Just one of the most gifted fighters to ever lace up gloves, man. I had the pleasure to say that I got to interview the man, and I'd love to have him back on the show. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, we get on, but we find the wrong people. I was thinking my favorite fights. My bad. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, yeah, but how is Mike McCollum viewed over there, man? Because I know he beat Watson. This is when Watson was on a high after beating on I think he beat Eubanks and he beat uh Nigel Benn. That was his first big win, and then he was supposed to come over here and just destroy my man uh Mike McCollum, and Mike took him to school and then finished him in the 11th round. He just gave up. He was exhausted. Yeah, we get on, but we find the wrong page. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, there, brother. I don't know if I want to drag it out for another 16 minutes. So let me say this. Watson was the best boxer out of them. Yes, he was. He was. Yes, he was. That's how he beat Nigel. That's how he saw it. I mean, he tired his behind out, and Nigel couldn't touch him. Yeah, touch him. And it was just a thing of loveliness, right? So that was that, and man, that was a great fight. And then he beat Eubanks, I think, the first time, and then he came over here to beat Mike McCollum, thinking he was going to take his belts. And Watson was big for 160. I think he really was like a 175 pounder or 168 fighter, parading as a 160-pound fighter because he was big. I think he was more one suited for 168. Those guys up at 175 were basically cruiserweights that shrank down. Yeah, that's what they were. They were cruiserweights that shrank down. So we'll see. Watson was the best. Yeah, he was. He was. And that fight that he had, Watson's fight with Eubanks, I believe that was the second fight. That was incredible. Because I don't know where Chris Eubank found the power to throw that last punch. My God, Eubanks is good, not good, good, not that good though. It's a shame how things turned out. I also feel sorry for Joe McClellan, but he's well taken care of, brother. So his sister takes care of him very, very well. I got to meet her as well. Great lady, great. Yeah, yeah. Uh, those those two stories are just that side of boxing that people People fear the most when you get into this business, you know. You could be turned into a vegetable real quick if you're not careful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because Chris, no, Gerald took Julian Jackson's best punches. He just ate them. He just took his best punches, man, and kept coming. Yeah. Don't come. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna shut her down, baby. So just thank you for coming out and everybody that was listening, everybody who's gonna do the replay. I appreciate you and thank you, thank you, thank you. Cause I'm about to start mumbling and talking to myself for whatever reason. I'm getting tired, but thank you. I'm gonna find another. I'm gonna find some place to rest my head in this big house of mine and get some sleep. You know, Eubank had power. Yeah, he had his own power from his boxing skill, but thank you very much. You know, I just needed to get that off my chest about. And listen to everybody in the sound of my voice, you as well. Phil, Carl, Roberts. Manhood is not a choice. We are born into it, and you have to carry yourself a certain way out here. If you get pushback, you can't run away. You got to stand up. You got to stand up, you know? So have a good night, man. I'm going to end this live now, and I appreciate your time. Thank you, thank you, thank you.